Yeah, we live here. Let's see. We have the intro today.
I know I'm
Maybe
nervous,
soon.
man. Yeah. Yeah, how are you guys today?
All
You guys
right.
are good
Well,
or what?
it's gonna be a fun one because we're on Wednesday. The fun times, MMA Underground, and you don't want to be anywhere else. I'm one half a dynamic duo known as Buddy V, but to one and only.
Sam K and shit, man. We got two great guests in the building, all the way from Streetbeefs Scrapyard. We have the 145-pound Muay Thai champion in the building, Knubby.
Let's go.
And all the way from Streetbeefs West Coast, he's been on a run. We have the one, the only, Weapon M.
Let's go. Let's go.
Weapon M.
I ain't even done. I'm not even done. Coming back on June. Not
Yup,
even
yup.
done. Not even close.
Nice. So you said you're coming back in June? No fight for this month?
Nah. Yeah, work and stuff be kicking my ass. But I wish though. I heard the hot box. Man, I'm a fan. I see it on YouTube all the time. The hot box is more it's more crazy. The environment, the everything looks pretty fucking crazy. It looks crazy, man. It looks crazy. One day I'll go there. One day. Shit, I'm a fan of
Best
you guys,
cage,
man. I've been
bro.
watching you guys since a couple years back.
It's the best cage we got, man.
No. Well, Nubby, what's up?
How are you guys? I appreciate you for getting me on here. Yeah, I'm not I won't be making it to a fight this month neither, but fuck, I'm like 6-7 hours away from the scrapyard. Live in Oregon, Baker City, Oregon, right next to Idaho. So kind of a hassle to get down there. Yeah. Last fight was on the 26th last month. So I'm hoping I want to make it to the anniversary event. I'm hoping that's doable for me. It sounds like it'll be cool. Steve was saying a little something about how he wants to have more quality over quantity for that event. So it sounds like more of the higher ranking fighters will be there. And for me, I only want to fight people that make me nervous. I only want to fight people that I question if I can win them or not. And so it seems like I'll definitely be able to defend my title if I can make it to that event. Really looking forward to that. I know my team and everything doesn't want to go again until September, but I don't have that option. I gotta be there. I gotta be active as long as I want to hold the title. So plus winning and then being able to take some more pictures with that belt and walk around with it. That's fun. You know what I'm saying? You go through the fight, walk around with the belt. That's one of the best feelings ever for me, really. So
got polish.
What did you think when the opportunity was presented to you?
So I actually reached out to Steve for the opportunity. I went on a Kicking It with Chicken, and I did a bunch of like soft call outs. Like I wasn't like, oh, I could beat all these people up, but I just I named some of the bigger fighters in the scrapyard, and I just told Steve, I'm not here to fight people that don't seem good. Like I want to know how I'm going to do against the best people there. And then on my way to the fight, he had posted a thing, like all these titles are open. And I kind of hit him up and was like, if my opponent's down for it, like we both qualify for that belt. So might as well put it in play. Like I plan on being active and I plan on taking the title. So yeah, that's how it went. I ended up finishing Marauder in the second round with a couple knees and taking the title. So it put a little bit more nerves on it, but it made it more serious, I guess. It made me want to dive in a little bit harder for it. The nerves kind of came after when I won and I realized like, oh shit, like at this point, I don't get to say no to anybody. Like, I don't think I would in the first place, just because I want to fight the best people, like this being amateur record doesn't really matter. I mean, a little bit lower than amateur, but record doesn't really matter. And so I'm just trying to figure out like what I'm not good at. I need to figure out like where my holes in my game are. And so, but yeah, after the fight is when it set in and I was like, dang, like it doesn't, like from here on out, Steve's just going to line up opponents and it's my job to get in there and try and finish them. So.
Hell yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
But before we keep going too, man, we're talking about opponents and we're talking about having these crazy fights. Weapon M. I saw when you fought the Human Typhoon, it was a
Yeah.
hot day. You had your costume on. And
Yeah.
I'm sitting here and I'm watching about to start round 3, and you did not slow down. I felt like they wound you up and
Nah.
just let you go. How were you not
Yeah.
tired? I mean, how are you not like? How could you continue going? I could see the radiation of the heat off you guys, and you're still going nonstop,
It
man.
was hot. It was hot, man. I just running, cardio, my gym. I mean, I recently started boxing like a couple months back, so just the boxing gym, man. Just hitting that bag when they give you the drills. They're like for like 30 seconds. So my boxing gym. But I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. That suit it gets hot. It's pretty hot in that fucking suit. I get nervous too when I put it on because everyone's staring at me. So I already start sweating automatic, bro, when I put it on. I see everybody looking at me and stuff, and I just get nervous. Like I'm nervous right now, bro. I'm pretty nervous right now. But
Hey,
yeah.
the culture wants to know, why do you keep wearing the suit? Because that was just a
Oh,
Halloween event. Your first event
yeah.
was the Halloween event.
I
And then we
know.
just saw you show up again and again and again. I'm like, okay, I guess that's his thing.
Yeah, I know. I see the comments, especially because start getting fit into boxing. So I hear some of the comments. They're pretty crazy. I don't know, bro. I want to stick out. You know, I'm doing this for fun. I mean, I like I said, I watched Street Beef since like years back. So I just do it for fun. And I mean, I like boxing, man. I like doing this as a hobby, as a I mean, I just like to fight. Like,
So it was just an intentional thing to make you stand apart from the
it,
rest, or?
yeah, and I see the way Street Beef is. It's like fun, crazy. It's cool, man. I mean, Street Beef hypes me up, bro. When I see like when we sign up and then you guys have like the FaceTime or Instagram like little thing like who's that next, you know, who's in a fight, who and all that shit hypes me up, bro. That like, gives me like some type of like I don't know, man. Like right now I'm talking about it, my feet are like going like that shit hypes me up, bro. Street Beef is I don't know, man. Street Beef is dope, bro. Street Beef is it's cool. I watch it all the time. Dope.
And shit, man. Speaking of dope, man, you had arguably one of the best fights with the Protestant at the last event,
Yeah.
a contender match for to see who's gonna go fight the champ Coyote. So
Yeah.
talk to us
Yeah.
about that fight, man. That was a close fight. That was a hard fought
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I got nervous, bro, to be honest. I think I got nervous up here because it was only 2 fights that I had, and then I think Tank told me, he's like, "Oh yeah, you're already fighting the top guy already," and this, and I think I didn't feel like really like I think I got kind of cold feet,
Mm.
but no, I mean it was a little taste of being up there now, so I mean, and then that guy was good too, bro. I thought I was fighting. I got confused with him and his brother. I thought I was fighting his brother the whole time, but
Bloody reps.
yeah, I thought I was fighting. They look alike, man. I was like, I went up to him and I was like, yeah, man, yeah, but no, I mean, shit. I came in, did my thing. I could have done better though. I kind of let the environment, the crowd get to me, like to hype me up. I should have boxed and understood, you know, kind of just went in there kind of brawling. I don't think that was a smart thing to do, and it cost me an L. I didn't want to lose, but I lost. So yeah, kind of sucks. But I'm training hard now. Now I'm in my gym more now. I usually go like 4 3 days in my gym, so now I come every day and stuff like that. But hopefully the fans liked it, man. That's what I really mostly cared about. I mean, if the
Oh
fans
yeah,
liked it, that yeah, there you go. See, so
yeah,
definitely wanna yeah, my next fight, man, I want to go for a knockout or a TKO. One of those two, man. I just want to please the crowd. That's all. Give a show and just like Nate Diaz says, you know, kill or be killed type of thing, you know?
yeah. Nah, man, you guys definitely had the biggest reaction from the crowd, aside from maybe Bigfoot Brown and Bundy's fight,
That was a good fight.
which that was a good fight, but it also had the controversy in the middle. You guys' fight, straight fire, no controversy. So, it's arguable. You guys might have had fight of the day that day. And, Protestant is a top level boxer, bro.
Yeah.
He's a top level boxer.
Yeah.
And you did very well. You did very well. I cornered him. That's a friend of mine. We've trained together for a minute. And when the fight was over, I had to take a step back and be like, oof, I don't know if I can trust the judgment call, but they made the call, and I was relieved, but saying that to say it was that close, it could have went, the other way, or a draw, or what have you, so
I thought it was gonna be a draw, but definitely in the future, maybe like 2-3 fights, run it back again, give the fans another good show, and show them that I can box and I have cardio and a lot. I just like I said, I've only been boxing for like 10 months or so. Not really. I'm in the gym consistently, like probably like 4 or 3 days, but now I'm more in the gym now. I'm more like, so definitely a rematch would be dope. I think it'll be really cool. I want the rematch though, but like in the future though, I still gotta learn, bro. I'm still learning this. I mean, I think like Conor McGregor says, it's like a never ending learning thing. Like you just gotta keep learning and learning, and just gotta keep learning and stuff. So I'm not rushing it, bro. I just just train hard, and that's it. That's all.
That's smart, man.
That's all you can do. And man, we're speaking of like growing and all that stuff. Knubby, I have watched your fights a few times, and I was really impressed with the fact that with your debut, because we're talking about boxing right now. Wait, what?
Signal? Damn, my signal cut off.
So sorry, Knubby. We're talking about boxing and stuff, and one of the things is your first match with the Sauce, your debut. I was impressed with the level of boxing you had. I felt like he underestimated you a bit, and you had some killer kicks, but the combos, man, I was impressed. I mean, from the jab to just across the straight to all of a sudden like the uppercut or the hook that was coming across. I mean, the power you had, I was blown away. No Diddy. But no,
thank you.
I was gonna ask how you kind of felt about their performance.
So my performance with the Sauce went as expected. As soon as because that was the only fight that I've done where I didn't know who I was fighting. The other two have kind of been lined up before. But when I showed up, he had been like throwing kicks on the bag and stuff, and one of my team members started helping him. Well, my team member, once he realized that he was fighting me, because he was like, the Sauce started saying things. He's like, I'm fighting Knubby. He's like, I kind of feel bad for fighting this guy because he has one arm. Started saying these things. But when I seen him hitting the bag and stuff, I went back to the sign-up tent and was like, if that's who I'm lined up with, like maybe I need to be signed up at a higher level. And Flex had just told me, Flex was like, look, have you ever been punched in your face before? And I was like, not in a setting like this. And he was like, well, we're going to figure out if this is your level or not then. And I could just tell by the way he was closing the distance and just the way that he didn't really know what to do in the clinch. I could just tell that he shouldn't have really been in there with me. The kickboxing is always a little bit different because it's hard. I train Muay Thai dominantly, so it's hard for me not to throw the strikes and the clinch and stuff. But yeah, I knew coming out of the first round, I knew that it was just a matter of time. My combos were cleaner. I could tell that I had trained longer than him. I could tell that I had more strength than him. I could just tell that I was levels above the kid. Not to take from him whatnot. Maybe he shouldn't have signed up at a high level like I did. I think my first match there, I signed up at a 2 or a 3. And so, maybe on him, he should have, bit the pride a little bit and signed up a little bit lower. But yeah, I feel like he had heart. The frustrating thing was, man, I was hitting him hard with some of those shots, and he just kept walking forward. The one there, I did start to question it a little bit in the second round. I was hitting him so hard because I felt like I was going to put him away that I gassed myself in that fight. But yeah, I could tell right away, going in there, the first time we tied up, the first combo I hit him with, I knew, it's just a matter of time. I was really thinking I was going to get a fancy fancy knockout or something. Although, you know, 2 finishes by TKO. I love the knees. It's kind of like my distance creator. When people close that distance, I want to flick those knees up in there. Yeah. And I was impressed with his heart. You know, he had a lot of heart, especially for not really training kickboxing. Like after the match, you know, he told me that he doesn't really train in a gym setting. It's just him and some buddies in a backyard. I couldn't believe he took as many kicks as he did when he told me that, because I was sending the kicks as well. I was trying to tear his legs up. And I do the whole shin conditioning stuff. You know, I rake my shins, I tap them with the wood. I kick a bag hundreds of times a day. So I was impressed with his heart and his willingness to fight. But yeah, right off the bat, I could tell, you know, I was levels above that kid. I think immediately after that match, when I got home, I got a hold of Steve and told Steve, like, I think, you know, next time I come around, I'll probably be signing up at like a level 3 or probably a level 4. And that's what I did. When I came back, I signed up as a level 4 and asked him for the title opportunity.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah, I gotta say, you made me a believer, bro. I know you made a lot of people a believer in that first fight. You know, we've seen people with handicaps fight before, and they tend to fight like people with a handicap.
Yeah.
You don't.
I agree with that.
You don't. It almost seems unfair because you're accurate and like you wouldn't expect it, but you're hitting people with your shorter arm and it's landing. And I'm like, whoa, this guy's got some experience. He knows what he's doing, and he's not held back. You know what I mean? That's what I noticed. He's not held back. We are. You know what I mean? My question is, how long have you been fighting? What is your background like? That's what I'd like to know.
So I did like this little karate pukulon shit when I was younger. And then I did it for a few years and I quit. I fell off. Once I had this a background enough to make sure nobody could pick on me about my arm anymore. And I think really like the karate, this is like that funny joke. It's like, you know, like karate only works against people who know karate. But then I just learned that like doing the karate, I used to go to the competitions. It made me willing to fucking hit people first. It made me willing to be the first person to swing. And so I stopped and I went through years of BS, you know, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, spent a lot of time in and out of jail. And like 5-6 years ago, I was getting out of jail here in town. And my buddy Menace, who had been training for a few months, saw me at the gym, and I was just trying to lose some weight. I was 253 pounds 5 years ago. So I just wanted to lose some weight, get that under control. And my buddy had told me that he started this kickboxing gym and there wasn't a lot of people in it and that I should just come check it out. And so I did. And right away when I got into the kickboxing gym, even though it was a kickboxing gym, the coach understood and loves Muay Thai. And it was just a great environment. And so instead of like sticking in the gym to lose the weight, I just started sparring every day. And my gym is a very sparring oriented gym. So, you know, every session we go in, we run drills 20, 30 minutes, but then we're sparring for an hour, switching back and forth between all the partners. And I don't know, I just fell in love with it. You know, the carnage, you know, the getting the shots, the feeling it. I had like a sense of pride afterwards in myself. A few years back, I think it was like 3 years ago, all of the guys in my gym went to their first fight, and I wasn't going to do it just because, I don't know, I didn't see any future in it for myself because of my disability, really. I didn't see any future in it for myself. But I watched them go to the scrapyard the first time, and they came back, and I could just see what it did for them. The confidence boost, them showing their fights to everybody, people's comments, the things they had to say to them. And I was like, damn, I'm really going to dive in and try that. So I spent 3-4 years training before I signed up. I signed up about 2 years ago. And then a month before the event, I had broke my only hand, which was shitty. It was rough. I only have one hand. So my wife had to wipe my ass and shit. It was pretty degrading to go through. But after that, you know, I let it heal. I got back into training. I hit Fire Chicken up. I told him I was going to be out there, you know, because I had dropped out of that fight. I felt bad. So I wanted to talk to him about it first. He told me to get out there with my arm. He was like, I'll make sure a fight is lined up for you. So I went that first time last year in September. came back in February this year, and then I just fought again in April. So yeah, I just plan on being super active. And after I started fighting, people started telling me about certain fighters who were born with the same disability and had made it pretty far in the professionals. And I started looking at how these guys train, the things they do for weightlifting, all of their things. And I just made a decision, like, I'm going to be a professional fighter. I'm going to make it farther than anybody else with my disability has made it. And one of the biggest things I like to show people is, like, I outperform so many people around me, so many of my peers with this disability, and I can't stand it when people take life for granted. I think everything in life is an opportunity. All of the experiences we go through, we should love. Good days and the bad days. And when you learn to enjoy something out of the bad days, it's like the good days are that much better. It makes everything a pretty cool experience. And so for me, that's really what it is. And one day I just have the hopes that one day I got this big, beautiful gym that I own with all of my own accolades, so people can know, like, I really did this stuff. I could show up at 6 a.m. I can open the doors. People could come in, they can train, and all types of people. Because for me, it was like I struggled with identity as a youth. So it's like, if I would have found this so much younger, I feel like I would have been in so much less trouble as a kid. But also, I want to be able to train world champions. And so that's really what it is. I thank the Scrapyard and Street Beefs for giving me a platform, because being in Oregon, it's a little bit harder to get to, like, amateur venues. And unfortunately, the ones that I got a hold of before Street Beefs, they just told me no because of my disability. You know, they didn't say, like, you're gonna come in here and you there's no way you could do good. But really, the way that these venues worded it to me was like, like, I know you've been training, but if you come in here with this disability and you get hurt, like, we're liable. And they just didn't want to look bad for somebody with a disability coming on there and getting hurt. So a lot of these venues I'm around kind of told me, like, if you can find a place that will let you compete and you could get those accolades behind you, like, come back and let us know. And then I found Street Beefs, and it's like, I'll probably be involved forever once I go pro, not if, once. I'll probably come back and help ref, because I see that with the reffing. Sometimes the reffing can be iffy. You got the crowd doing it. I'll come back and help with the shows. I'll come back and help with matchmaking the fights, all of that stuff, because it turned out to be a really cool environment. The camaraderie that comes with it, the story behind it of how, like, Street Beefs was founded, all of that stuff. I got love for all of it. So yeah, just watching all of that happen made it easy for me to get out there and show people that, even with the disability, I'm not disabled. I've been able to come out and outperform, and I've been able to come out and show out. And man, it's like a certain type of therapy that I need in my life. It's something that I got to do forever. It's easy to have goals when you're a fighter, right? You always have these little goals that you got to reach for yourself. And I feel like I'm one of those people, when I don't have goals, like, I fall back into shitty habits as a person. And so really the fighting lifestyle is perfect for me. I will definitely do it forever. It'll definitely be a career once I make it high enough, start making money. And I'll definitely own my own gym where I can train world champions and train people, young kids who have nowhere to go and need a mentor, things like that. So.
Hey, man, hell of a story, and thank you for sharing, bro.
Eloquently said. And I was gonna say, I don't know if you saw a comment, Jay, I pull that up so Knubby can see that real quick. That was crazy cool. And speaking, that's just, yeah, I love hearing that. And I'm actually kind of curious because Weapon Ed, we're talking about how, he fought and, training and whatnot. And you said you've only been training for 10 months. What I'm curious about is if, growing up, you personally fought in the streets or you fought anywhere else. Because when you fought Flacco, there's one thing I noticed, and when you had this back step, you kept throwing this straight when you had a back step as you're circling the cage. And I know that's something that's either trained or learned, and you had it so nice. And after hearing it was only 10 months, I mean, did you fight outside of that 10 months before that?
Nah, I mean, I fight here and then, but I'm not a, like, fighter, bro. I'm like a lover. I learn, bro. Like, when I go to a boxing gym, I try to get in as much as training I can. Like, I'm not afraid to get in there. Not afraid to get inside there. So I mean, I just take advantage of what I can.
And you mentioned being a lover. That's a perfect segue because I noticed your lady is at every event, and you seem to get a power
no, that's
boost.
my sister. That's my
That's your
sister.
sister?
That's my
Oh,
sister. She's
I'm
just
so sorry.
she's
Man, no wonder, bro.
she's yeah.
She's ready to get in the ring
Yeah.
sometimes.
She's
Dang.
you know
Well,
what, guys?
family, that's love.
She's she's actually a professional, bro. She's actually high level. She trains at a boxing gym. She's pro.
She's a pro boxer?
So yeah, but I didn't
Get out of
listen
here.
to her
Why do I not
to an
believe that?
extent too. But yeah, she's pro. She's pro, man. She's pro, bro. She's
Damn.
just yeah. She kind of got mad at me that night. She was like, "You weren't listening." But she's pro. Yeah, she trains at Mayweather. She's pro.
She's feisty. I was gonna say though,
She's pretty good.
she seems to give you that power boost. I noticed when you know
Yeah,
you seem
yeah,
to focus and reel in, you know, when she's cornering you
yeah,
or you know cheering you on.
yeah,
Do you feel
yeah.
like that helps at all?
Yeah, I just like I said that day the crowd got to me, you know, like I wasn't listening to her. Like, yeah, she is a power boost. She's good. She's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I was part of the crowd
she's my
that
big
day,
sister.
so
I we grew up together.
that's awesome. You said that's big sister?
I know that shit was it was cool, bro. Yeah,
Hey,
my
it
stepbrother
was
sucks.
nothing
What was that?
personal, you know. I just had to support my boy. Plus, your sister uh, does her job really well, right? So to counteract that,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you got to have somebody on the other side doing, you know. Sometimes the coaches or the
yeah,
corners, you know, they have their moments,
yeah,
you know. But
yeah, yeah,
when the corners and the coaches understand their job, that does happen sometimes. Where hey, we riding for our side and we're boosting our
yeah,
guy, you know?
yeah, yeah. Yep, yep. You're right. Like I said, this fight coming up on June, watch. You're gonna it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good fight. But yeah, you're
Who
right. I see you're passionate though.
yes sir, yes sir. And that's anybody our
Passionate.
corner, you know what I mean? Because I
Yeah,
understand what you're there to do, right?
yeah,
And you know, some corner guys can come off with the technical dictionary work. Some guys come across with just the vibe, the aura, the energy, you know, and then some folks you know, some folks will slap you in the face and say, get your fucking act together.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's just it's different, but the fighter knows and the corner knows, you know. But
yeah.
I was wondering who outside of Protestant and maybe El Coyote, who would you like to fight? Is there anyone that you see that would make a good fight for you?
Well, to be honest, bro, I'll fight anybody at bantamweight or featherweight. I'm like a 140 guy. So to be honest, bro, just throw me in, man. Just give me some fucking cool fights. Just throw me in there. Anyone, anybody. I'm already training already. I'm doing some. Throw me in with anybody. I don't care. Anybody.
I
Trying to
like it. I
build
like it.
me.
I don't care. Anybody. I'm gonna train
No,
hard.
I was Damn, must be a delay in mine. I was gonna ask both of y'all because I'm curious because you said your sister's a pro, and you know, recently when the scrapyard just came back from the OG yard, and there was a fighter who was trained by a professional fighter. And with that being said, there are eyes on street beefs,
Hmm.
and it provides a lot of different platforms. And we've seen people go not just to professional boxing or you know the USA Boxing League or the UFC to the next level. We've seen people go BKFC. We've seen people go Power
Yeah.
Slap. I mean, if
Yep.
you guys had any option, where would you like to see yourself go?
Beautiful swerve, buddy.
Yeah. Uh, King of the Streets. I heard
Ooh,
that's crazy. You heard of that?
whoa.
Yeah, that
Hell
shit's
yeah.
fire. That's what I'm saying. That shit is. I was trying to get a hold of. I don't know. Doesn't 619 do like MMA or something like that?
No,
Oh, he doesn't
Oh,
do
he's just
MMA.
boxing.
Nah, he's
Or
a
just
boxer. He
okay.
boxes and he coaches.
Okay, but King of the Streets though, that damn, I would love to be in that. I seen the way that's brutal, bro. They do the headbutts, they do the King of the
Soccer
Streets for
kicks.
me. Yeah, they eye gouge you. I mean, you know what's cool too? The production is pretty badass. It looks like you're watching a movie. Looks pretty good. King of the Streets for me though.
Yeah. Shit. Let me see. I'll go through all of these organizations. I think One FC would be really cool.
That's a good one.
I want to know how I do with some of the top Muay Thai fighters in the world. There's a guy, Jake the One Peacock. He was born with the same disability as me. He fights in One FC, and it's his right arm, not his left arm. But I'm definitely gonna take a win off that guy. I need to fight that guy once time in my life. He's a few years older than me. He's definitely a killer, but I love the Muay Thai. I love the forward with it's so much damage. It's so active. It's like I'm surprised it's not more popular. And then yeah,
Right.
definitely eventually UFC. I will fight in the UFC eventually. All of these things, Bellator, you know, all of these places. I'm gonna make my rounds through all of them. Really, my goal is just I want to show the world that I'm a bad motherfucker. And then you know it's part of having one of the best gyms in the world. Eventually, I'm going to be training people that are champions in all of these organizations, and in order for me to do that, I need to fight in them all. I think training with professionals will be cool, but eventually I'm going to be that person that people are looking forward to being trained by. I'm going to be the guy that like people growing up are going to be like, I need to know his knowledge. I need to know, you know, how he does the things he does. And so that's really my goal. There are some famous people, I think famous fighters, I think it'd be cool to be trained by, but you know, there's always that thought in my mind. It's so many people meet their idols and can't stand them who they are as people. So I just don't want to be tainted by that. I don't want to meet some of these people that I looked up to growing up and then decide like this is a shitty person. I think if I meet them in passing or I meet them, you know, after I got these accolades, it'll be different because then they'll see me as an equal. But I don't want to meet any of these people when they see me as less than. And I think that's really where that comes from. You know, you run into these people and they treat you less than who they are. That's really where, you know, those feelings come from. And so I'll be able to meet some of these people one day just because I'm going to be great enough. They want to be around me. They want to be in my gym. They want to know my knowledge. They want to know the kind of person I am as well. So, yeah, that's really my goal.
Damn, I like that. There's actually a quote that I heard. I can't remember who said it, but it said instead of seeking to be known, seek to be worth knowing. And that made me think of that. What you said. I like that. Damn.
Very well said. I wanted to ask both of you, how did we come up with our fight names?
Oh,
I got one
actually,
arm.
No,
oh, you do
bruh.
You
got one
know,
arm. Oh
you know,
shit.
really what it
Oh, I
was
didn't even know
is
you had one arm.
as a kid, people used to make fun of me, and when they made fun of me, they called me Knubby. And then I used to hide my arm because of it. And then when I started winning some of these fights as a kid, I'd swing first and put people out. People started saying it as like a good thing, like, "Oh, what up, Knubby?" Oh, you know. And then when I was signing up for Street Beefs, I was like, "Well, shit, you know, like what should my name be?" I was like, fuck it, I'm Knubby. You know, this disability has created my personality. It's made me who I am, and I'm either gonna let it drag me behind my peers, or I'm gonna outshine my peers with it. So, yeah, that's where it comes from.
Like,
Wow. Mine was it was at the Halloween thing. I didn't even know. Like I said, bro, I was a fan of Street Beef. I don't know how Street Beef works, so I just put my name on the thing that we signed up, and then I think the other guy, Isaac, what was it? Smoke or Free
yeah,
Smoke
free
or
smoke,
You
Isaac?
smoke?
free smoke.
Free Smoke comes up to me and he was like, "What's your nickname?" I'm all like, and I looked at my costume, And I looked at him, and I was getting nervous because I don't want to mess up. I don't want to look like a dumbass. And I don't know. I just saw my costume, and then my name is Miguel, so I was like, Weapon X, Miguel, Weapon M, and then after he told me that, and he called my name out, like, oh, come on, I was like, oh, Weapon M, Weapon M, but I was like, it was just on the spot, my name. I'm gonna stick with it.
No, we like it, man. We like it.
Yeah, I just came up with it, but I didn't have anything planned. I was just like, oh man, Street Beef is dope, and then it's like your favorite comic book. Like I said, I never really even knew I was gonna do Street Beef, so it was like it just everything happened like on the spot. Everything just happens.
I saw.
I mean, the name.
Go ahead, buddy.
The name makes me want to check your gloves before the fight for many medal. You know.
Yeah, I know, man. I didn't bring my that metal stuff on that day, but yeah, man. But hey, guys, look, I gotta go to work, guys. I gotta go to work. All right.
Hey, it's all good, brother. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
You
I
you want to
definitely
give out
wanna come
any?
back in
You want to give out any socials, any shout outs, anything like that?
Yes. Yes. My Instagram is Miguel ALA236, and I want to give a shout out to Street Beef for thank you guys. Thank you guys. I appreciate it, guys.
Not a problem, brother. You have a great one. Have a great shift.
Dang, that's awesome. I love it. Giving us a time and going straight to work. Shit, hell yeah.
Hey, he got it in. Back to Knubby.
Okay. Now, the question is, we see people do all sorts of stuff. He had to go to work outside, outside of fighting. We got these lives. And because of that, people have had some interesting things. You have a lot of plans in the fight world. And it sounds like, you do know where you're going. But do you have any hobbies outside of fighting, just out of curiosity, sometimes to kind of make your mind just, to bring peace?
Let me see. I fucking love to run. At first I hated it. I started just running because I was fighting. I thought long distance runs would build my cardio. Hell yeah, I love it.
Cardio is key.
But as I started running a lot, man, the further I could go and the crazier the runs could be, I started to clear my mind. And so now I'm kind of one of those people that I need to start, I got to do a 100-mile marathon once in my life. So that's a plan. I watch this guy on TikTok who goes and does like 250-mile marathons, 300-mile marathon, and that upped the scope for me a little bit. So I'm hoping to do some crazy runs like that in my life. I'm not very good at it, but I'm a fan of golfing. There's a little golf course here in town, and I kind of know one of the head guys that run it, and so I always get to go for free. So in the summertime, I do that golfing stuff, and then very family oriented, man. I have 4 kids and I'm married. So outside of those 3 things, all my free time ends up going to my kids, best I can. And I play some video games. I'm not like, I don't know, there's some crazy video gamers out in the world, but I got a little Xbox. I'll be playing Apex with my older brother and shit so we can connect. And then TV shows, I'm one of those people that I always got to have a good TV show around in my life for me and my wife to watch. Yeah, the fighting stuff has kind of consumed the majority of my free time just because I fell in love with it all. Recently, me and one of my training buddies bought a 18 by 18 boxing ring. So getting ready to put that up in my backyard. Want to make it a cool little training area. Yeah, working out. I work out every day. Every day I hit the gym, lifting weights. I understand that like the physique is the other half of training. I see a lot of guys that they don't do it, and it just doesn't work out the same for them. And then the nutrition. I think part of me wants to go to school to be a nutritionist. All the guys in my camp make a joke about me being their free nutritionist. But falling in love with the fighting, I kind of fell in love with like human biology and nutrition. And at first I was just looking things up because I knew that I'm going to get punched in my head a billion times over my life. So really, like, what do I do to keep my head around, keep my body around? So in falling in love with all that stuff and being curious about how I'm going to keep my head safe as much as possible, I just started looking up human biology and the way your brain works, the way your body works. I started to learn nutrition real well. My buddy Madness, in our fights in February, he was almost 330 pounds. And I gave him a plan because he wanted to be under, he wanted to get way lower than that. And so from February, like 26, I think it was, to April 26, I was able to get him down 45 pounds by giving him a plan and a workout. And I kind of, you know, right now I manage a fancy ass hotel here in town where I live. And like just looking up things, like on average, a nutritionist would make the same amount of money I'm making right now. So I could live with that. I think it's cool. I'm really one of those people. I like to help people. I can't stand helping people that don't want to help themselves. Before I fell in love with the fighting and stuff, I was going to school to be a drug and alcohol counselor. And I just found out that that's a shitty work field to be in. The majority of the people you work with don't really want to be there. And so finding another way to help people, fighting worked out. I think a lot of the comments, it sucks for some people because the comments come out and like people are like, don't read your comments on your fight. I think they say it at Street Beefs when you get there. They're like, don't read your comments. But I don't get that. Like my comments are always uplifting. Like people are like, damn, this guy's got one arm, like crazy. Like they always got something. There's been the few people that are like, I would never lose to somebody with one arm, you know, but you know, that stuff doesn't bug me. It's like they don't really have the good comments always outweigh the bad comments. So I've learned, and I've had people reach out to me and be like, watching you is crazy. Like I'm going to go for these things because I'm watching you do this. So I really just want to help people, and the fighting has been able to help me do it. I think going to school to be a nutritionist helps me do it. Golfing does not help that at all because those old men on the golf course are mean as hell. They I take too long to get it. They be hitting the balls at me because they're not going to skip their hole and they're not going to wait for me. It's like, but golfing is one of those things that like, it really does. I am limited in life because of my arm. And golfing is one of the things that's hard because of my arm. So I decided I'm going to figure this out. I can't swing it the same way. The accuracy is not the same. I can't get a full swing in. But I will learn to be as good as some of these old folks that are out there getting it in two swings and shit.
Are you using your armpit?
So I hold it like this, and what happens is because it's so short, I can't bring my arm up as far as other people, so I can't get the power they generate. So
Gotcha.
I either got to learn to just do it with one arm. Yeah,
wow.
we'll figure it out. I've only gone a handful of times. Where I live, it gets crazy in the wintertime, and so wintertime comes around, and we got 4 or 5 feet of snow constantly. And then summertime comes around and it's too hot out here. So I only get these summers to do it. And last summer I was only able to go golfing a handful of times. I didn't know there's like a spot where women start from. I thought it was like a spot for beginners. And so I was going from there, and like these old dudes were laughing at me behind me, and they didn't even tell me till we got halfway through the course. They're like, we're laughing because you're starting at the women's spot. In my mind, I'm like, that's crazy. Why is there a women's spot? They're like, women, amateurs, professionals. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, and so yeah, but yeah, things like that. One of the things I do outside of everything, like I'm pretty good at basketball. In high school, I got 3rd in state with my team. But I moved to this little town, and you know, the coach here cut me all every year with the special ed kids, and eventually he just told me he didn't want somebody on the team with one arm. So some of the things I end up doing are like, if my arm causes me a struggle, I want to figure it out. I want to know like the mechanics and how I could get around it with my disability. And that tends to be something I do. But with the weather getting good, I had an injury last month. I herniated a disc, so I haven't been able to run for a little while. So that sucked. But yeah, so I'll get back into the running. I love to run long distances. There's this interpretive center. It's like 12 miles away from my house, and getting there is mostly uphill. I've been trying to run there and back. I haven't been able to do it yet, but I'm going to get it eventually. 24 miles, see if I could get it in a day. And hopefully I could get to a point where I'm doing it where it doesn't take me out for a few days. Cause I'm telling you, I try and I hit a point where I'm puking. I'm like sitting on the side of the road. People are pulling over asking me if I'm okay. And then eventually, you know, every time so far I've had to call my wife and tell her, you know, you got to come get me. This is too much. But yeah, I'll be able to do it eventually. The running, the cardio, it just is the most rewarding workout because there's nothing like the fear that you have setting in when you're too tired to do something. Yeah.
That's facts, man. They say what is it? Fatigue makes cowards of us all.
Yes,
I
sir.
I like the determination, man, and the you know, the willingness to figure it out when you do come across something difficult. You mentioned gaming earlier, and I wanted to know, like, is there any difficulty in that, or are you you shining in the on the Xbox?
I'm pretty good. So like if I really like so I like Apex Predators. I play that pretty often. If I really hunker down and like try on a ranked season, I could get Apex Predator. Um but it's like I learned from being a little kid, family was huge. So all of us cousins play video games. Um and I got lucky on the side that my disability is on for the controllers. So I use my nub for the analog to aim down sights. I press it against my thigh, and then you know the rest of the buttons are with my right hand. And no difficulty. But yeah, at first when I was a kid, my older brother would fucking destroy me in games until I was crying and throwing controllers trying to punch him. But nowadays, no. I think so. It's actually pretty funny. Like if I'm playing a game and somebody kills me, I'll like send them a picture of my nub through the chat. I'm like, fucking send it to their profile. I'm like, you beat somebody with one arm. How's that make you feel? Like,
That's fire.
Damn.
yeah. And then the name, you know, people always ask me. My name is Nub Homicide. People are always like, "What's up with your name, bro?" And I'm always like, "Yeah, I got one arm." And they're always like, they question, and it's perfect for the fights because they'll be like, "No, the fuck you don't. Like, you don't have one arm." And I'll be like, "Yeah, go look up my most recent fight on Streetbeefs Scrapyard." I'm like, "You'll see me fighting with one arm too." Like,
Hey,
yeah.
that is perfect what you're doing because you're one of the few fighters that we speak to who have spoken, who have mentioned marketing their fight. You know what I mean? And that's something I really, man, I can't stress that enough, man. Fighters, content creators, we all have to, we need to be posting, resharing, you know, and you know, trying to drive the traffic to the fights or whatever you got going on, you know. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. I think yeah, I watch a lot of fighters fail at that. I always come out there. And also on like the backhand, I think, you know, fighting at the scrapyard, there's been a handful, I won't like say anybody, but there's a handful of fighters that are kind of like blame the scrapyard or blame street beefs for like not building them up as much as they can. But in my mind, I'm like, man, this is a huge platform. It should make it, you know, like our last fights in April, we were able to get a small restaurant here in town to pay for our gas all the way there and back just by bringing up their name in the beginning from one of our fighters.
Yeah.
So like the platform is huge and it should be able to build our social medias. It should be able to build us as a person. You know, for me, I always try to talk about in the interviews, at the fights, at the scrapyard, I always try to talk about the fact that I want to be a trainer. And so, you know, this is an opportunity for millions of people to be able to see who we are, what kind of person we are, kind of grit we have, and definitely not enough people try to bring themselves up from it. And I think, you know, at the scrapyard, I really realized my first time because my first time going out, there was a fighter that came out and you could tell he wasn't really a fighter, but he went in and I believe he totally got demolished. But what he did at the beginning of his fight was like, check out my SoundCloud, check out my music. And I was like, oh, bro's kind of smart. I was like, that makes sense. Like, you're willing to come out here and get in the cage with somebody, but yo, maybe thousands of people will figure out my iCloud and maybe these thousands of people will stick around and like my music. And so, yeah, you know, making sure people see my fights. I want to see the views. I was a little disappointed because I thought the fact that I had a disability, I would get a little bit more than I did. But that's all right. I'm going to keep coming. People are going to want to keep watching. I'm only going to be more and more exciting. I let myself down a little bit in my last fight, but I had an injury. I got to stay active in order to retain the belt. So no fight camp. I wasn't able to do any cardio for 6 weeks before the fight. I wasn't really able to spar for 6 weeks before the fight. I kind of had to go in there in the first round and like see what would happen. I herniated a disc on the 13th of March, or on the 12th of March. So I didn't really get to train the way I wanted to for the fight. But I did great in the first round. I came out in the second and third round with some fire, but he's a good opponent. And, the judges just gave it to him, which is no hard feelings. I don't think it was the first time that I even got punched in the face, not like not to talk down on Marauder or Sauce. But, those guys just weren't able to be at my level. And then, of course, understanding the nutrition and the dieting, I'm able to get, I'm 6'1", being able to get down to 145 before the fights is a huge advantage for me. It gives me a reach advantage. But also I have a little bit of advantage in the pocket because of my disability. I generate a lot of power when you're too close to me. So, yeah, there's so much that comes in with this fighting stuff. It's crazy. But yeah, definitely making sure that you build yourself up. I make sure I always talk. I didn't even really have an Instagram until I went to Street Beefs, and then, listening to Fire Chicken talk about it one time, I was just telling him like, yo, I appreciate you. Like, I seen him at the yard. I was like, I just want you to know, like, thank you for having this here. Thank you for letting all of us come here. And he was like, yeah, just, try and build yourself up from it. And so Instagram came after that. I do have a TikTok. I just post what I do for training on there, and really like motivational quotes, things like that to keep people going. That's what I like to see when I'm doom scrolling. I like to look at motivational people, things people got to say. I guess the harder people that are able to battle through the toughest days in life and still accomplish the things that they want to accomplish.
Absolutely. Damn, that is crazy. I will say this, man. Fire Chicken is like the master of the social media algorithm or something, man. 'Cause some of that growth, I'm just like, food.
Yeah, I mean, I would say you could be reposting those same clips that he's making. Take those, repost them, remix them. You know what I mean? But post them everywhere. Everywhere you have a social media account, every platform that you have, repost those fights, those clips, remix them, and because I do agree, you deserve more views. Yeah, because of the disability, you would expect more, but I'd say overwhelmingly, the talent says I should have X amount of number. And the disability is just an add-on, you know what I mean? A novelty, to talk about. But yeah, man, it's kind of a community effort too, not just you sharing and reposting, but us as well. When we see that someone is actively working the algorithm, it helps when we join in. You know what I mean? So that's something that I'm trying to voice more to the community so that collectively we see each other come up. We see the numbers come up, the views, the subscribers, and the overall branches, just grow, because we see what the OG Yard has built.
Yeah, the amount of followers they got over there is crazy. I think when I went to look at the death sentence fight, it was like 4.6 million or something, and I was like, that's crazy. That's awesome. That's beautiful. Yeah, we got to do it. I think reminding everybody, not to just share your fights, but sharing all the fights. Get on there, comment, like, share,
Yep.
inviting people to the different pages, all of those things. Yeah, you definitely, it's got to be a group effort. It's got to be something all of us are doing together, making sure to share all of them. I try to do it. And yeah, the Instagram is crazy. I think I was able to collaborate with Steve on my last reel, and that thing had like 74,000 views in like the third day. I thought it was crazy. Yeah, there's something. Steve he Fire Chicken's pretty good at the social media part, understanding that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I felt super cool. Yeah, one time I see like a video or like one of the reels and stuff. I opened up and it's like 100 likes. I was like, what? I was like, oh, it's a scrapyard video. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Like, I knew I wasn't that handsome yet.
Yeah. I was stoked on it because my last reel with my fight with the chef, it's at like 800 likes, I think, right now. Yeah, that one was cool. And I was fortunate enough to see like it was really like a lot of my highlights in the reel. It was nice to see. I didn't see a lot of my bad parts in there. It was a good moment. Some of my better moments.
Hell. Well, I'm having a fun time, but see, there's this point of every show where I have to be this bad guy, right? And I gotta say, we can't stay the entire night. We have people in different time zones, but Weapon M already headed over to work. But I do like to say, before we even think about that, Samke, did you have any final questions for our guests for this evening?
Final question, man. As you saw recently, Scrapyard took a troop of soldiers to the OG yard. Could we ever see Knubby coming to the West Coast, the OG yard, or even the Dirty South yard to fight?
Oh yeah, I gotta get to all of them. I gotta be seen at all of them eventually. It's gotta happen. The OG yard would be cool because I just want to go and be able to show out for the founding area, but also hitting all the yards and making friends with the family as a whole. Getting to meet all of the environments, all of the communities. It's a goal of mine for sure. Probably a little bit more planning, but I already got to put quite a bit of money into making it just to the scrapyard.
Right.
I think like my fight in April, it took me like $600-700 to make sure that happened. Now, granted, I paid a little bit more on an Airbnb than I needed to, but I always make it a vacation. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, a nice place to stay. My wife always comes with me. I get a babysitter for the kids, so me and my wife, she loves the fights. She's cage side the whole time. And then the environment, like I said, it's like therapy for me. So yeah, I got to hit all the yards. I got to hit all of the environments, and I got to meet all of the best people. And hopefully, I get some I get some of all the top people at all of these places. Like I said, this is you got to lose, you got to take some failures in order to learn. And so my goal is I want all the best people. So being able to get to these yards, I watch a ton of Street Beefs. So seeing, some of the people in the other yards right off top is like, I always look at people who do well, and I'm like, I want to know how I would do in that ring with that person. So I definitely got to get to them all.
Well, we love to have you on the West Coast, man, and thank you for your time. It's been a great one.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity.
You got any if Buddy has any questions?
No, we gotta get some socials though. Heck yeah.
Oh yeah. So you could check me out on Facebook as Leif Knubby Edison. You see a lot of me on there, so not just the fighting stuff. If you go on Facebook, you'll get to see the kind of character I am. With the things I share, the pictures of the family, the things I have interest in. Instagram is where I post a lot of the fighting stuff. So that's disabled MMA _2. And then you can find training videos on TikTok. If anybody wants to watch some tape on me and call me out later, Knubby22 on TikTok.
Like I saw you didn't block that kick. I saw you didn't check it. Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, man. I had too much fun today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of the evening.
Appreciate you, brother.
Heck yeah.
The 145 Muay Thai Scrapyard champion, Knubby.
That's not something you hear all the time. I mean, Muay Thai. I love when I get to see some up here in the scrapyard.
Yeah, man. Y'all go check out his fights because he definitely brings the heat. He's not champ for no reason.
And speaking of heat, you know it's about to come up in a minute anyway.
Some fire.
Fire!
Refusing to allow limits to hold you back. When you hit that wall, you can either let it stop you or you can break through. Somke speaks from experience when he says cardio is key, cardio is key, cardio is key. And over here at Zuwell, we embody our motto, hard work, grit, and determination. Go get your cardio is key shirt today.
Buddy V's Fighters to Watch.
So we're going to start off at the Scrapyard. We start with Nomad. Now, he made the list because watching him fight was absolutely fun. I believe he was speaking Russian, but when he came out, his demeanor is what really got me. So calm, cool as a cucumber, and in his fight, he almost is just smiling a little bit here and there, just throwing hits, kind of like a little, okay, when he's getting popped once or twice. You could tell this guy knows how to fight. And I feel like I need to see him in a couple more fights because whatever I saw was not enough. When the fight ended, I needed some more. So come on, Nomad, let me see you come back out to the Scrapyard. Now, we got to go to the West Coast. The gentleman I have is Humble Beast. And let me tell you, that is the most perfect name. You see this gentleman, and he's big, he's swole, and you're like, he's a beast. And you're like, okay, let me see. And his grappling is on point. He was striking, and he ended up getting a killer move. I'm not going to say how he finished it, but I'm just going to say he was very humble afterwards. Thus, Humble Beast, I need to see some more because you made opportunities. You were patient for your openings that you did, and you utilized them when they came. Yes. From the OG yard, we have Derek. Now, this was a fun one because as I'm watching, this was from one of their pop-up events. And he was an older gentleman. And I always love watching some of the older gentlemen fight because sometimes you never know. And he was a little bit more calm in his fight. He was taking a few shots in the beginning, had his defense up. And then all of a sudden, bam, comes with this cold knockout out of nowhere. I had to rewind it because I blinked or something. I must have missed it for a second, but I had to go right back. So, Derek, I saw you at that pop-up event. Let me see you pop up again or maybe pop up at the OG yard. So, you know. But those are my 3 fighters to watch.
Nice, nice. Always great picks. Dare I say, fire.
Fire.
Somcan the Fire 5. We're going to start things off at the OG yard. You see it. We have Bad News versus the Artist. This is a classic fight from a little bit way back. And man, we have the poised, well-paced, undefeated Bad News going up against an aggressive boxer here. We see a great use of slips and feints and a well-timed KO. Streetbeefs OG yard, Bad News versus the Artist, firefight. Our guest tonight, we talked about this fight. This is Knubby versus Marauder in their Muay Thai title match. Man, this was a firefight, man. We see calculated strikes, beautiful shot placement, relentless perseverance, and the range control, the heart on full display. I mean, this is a great fight right here. Knubby versus Marauder, firefight. Taking you back to the West Coast. You see it. This is Scorpio versus McPeak, aka Doughboy. This is a boxing match right here. And this is a no mouth guard boxing match right here. These men slugged it out. 3 rounds, heavyweight big boy action, and they did not disappoint. A lot of back and forth exchanges, a lot of heavy body work, tons of heart and grit on display, and great sportsmanship on display as well. Streetbeefs West Coast, Scorpio versus McPeak, firefight. Who taking you back to the OG yard? You see it. Streetbeefs OG Yard Torpedo versus Little Joker. This was an MMA match. This was yet again another great competitive match right here. Beautiful exchange of momentum. We see several reversals on the ground. We see heavy bombs being dropped. Great use of grappling. And these guys had some solid IQ, fight IQ. Great finish at the end. Streetbeefs OG Yard Torpedo versus Little Joker. And we're going to end it at the Scrapyard tonight. You see the title if you're trying to look this up. This is Sharpshooter versus Let the Hands Talk. Man, this was an MMA match. These guys were not super technical, but man, they were gritty. They were there to scrap. They were very competitive, very much in each other's face. But as we say every episode, cardio is key. Cardio is key. Cardio is key. Available at zwellworld.com. Go get you a shirt. Both of these men were looking for opportunities. Both of these guys had two different styles. It made for a great matchup. Both of these two young men were very tough and pushing and pressing the action to the very end. Streetbeefs Scrapyard, Sharpshooter versus Let the Hands Talk, Somcan the Fire 5.
Straight fire. I can't lie. I don't think I watched that last one. So now I know that before I even watch the full 5, I got to watch that one and then watch the 5.
Yeah, it was my first time seeing it when I watched it recently too. And it was good. Like I said, competitive. Those guys, what up? Those guys really brought the heat. You know what I mean? Competitive.
Damn. Dang. All right. Well, I can't wait. I'm excited. Woo!
Yep. Appreciate that.
Well, even though I'm having fun and it's the Fun of the Killer Wednesday and the guests were phenomenal, we had a great time. Is it about that time?
It's about that time, man. For those who haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. The support really does help. Shout out to our guest tonight, Weapon M. I appreciate you. Knubby, I appreciate you. Everyone watching, go check out Weapon M's fights. Go check out Knubby's fights. These guys are great fighters. And that's what we're here for, right? Shout out to Streetbeefs OG Yard, Scrapyard, West Coast, Dirty South. We do this for y'all. Everyone watching us live, everyone on replay, we appreciate y'all. The people in the comment section, we appreciate y'all. We do this for y'all. Shout out to Overtime Hustling Magazine. Shout out to Heart in the Fight. And big shout out to zwellworld.com. You see it at the bottom of the screen, zwellworld.com. That's where you can get your Cardio is Key shirts. That's where you can get your Zwell World merch. And yeah, check us out. Support the team. This is what we're here for. Yeah, man. I think that's pretty much it for me. I want to thank Buddy V and I want to thank Jay. We do this every week. We kill it. And yeah.
Heck yeah. Shout out to Zwell. Too much fun. And while you see the zwell-world.com is the website, go let me know about the new sections, everything, how it's laid out. And, check that out. The little stuff on the sleeves too. The Zwell_Buddy V Instagram. They have been posting so much fun stuff on the stories, everything else. Check out the Facebook because it's going to be getting there. I have a couple photo shoots that have already been done and they're about to all start getting released. Yeah. Thank you guys very much. I have a fun time. And shout out to Samke. I couldn't do this without you. We kill it every single Wednesday. Jay, we keep you on your toes. And you're on those comments like that tonight. Man, heck yeah, I'm liking it. Thank you. Overtime Hustling Magazine. We see you in the comments. Heck yeah. Don't forget your issues over at overtimehustlingmagazine.com. Shoo. You might see a little something you'll like. But we kept you long enough. And in Jay's famous words, we'll end it like always. One world, one love, deuces.
Hey!